Hi, I'm Brie from Grapha. Up next, we have Earnscape. You're live with Grapha on the floor of Token 2049. We're streaming and we're very excited to announce our next guest, Steve Wood from Earnscape. Steve, how you going?
I'm doing great. How are you today, Brie?
I'm fabulous. Thank you so much. Steve, can you tell us a little bit about Earnscape and what you guys are and what you guys do?
Absolutely. So Earnscape is a mobile game live streaming platform. So if you have any games on your phone, specifically Android, also iOS, but that's more complicated because Apple's really complex. But if you have games on your Android device and you'd like to make money while you play them, use our app and you can stream out your gameplay. Anytime people watch, you make money.
That sounds incredible. Is it quite a large user base then, and the uptake is high?
Well, we've actively suppressed our user base because there's a lot of scammers and frauds out there. So we've been using a lot of the time we've been building up to train our AI algorithms to identify all that and filter all those people out. We have about 35,000 active users right now, but we're about to scale into the hundreds of millions.
That sounds incredible. I'm very exciting on the frontier of that, is that right?
I agree.
Yeah, okay. Well, can you tell us, Steve, Web3 gaming was extremely hot for a while, but it's a little bit quieter now. Do you think that gaming is still a path to mass adoption for crypto?
Yes, it really is, but I don't think that any one game is going to be a one shot that makes Web3 gaming, puts it on the map. And that's a mistake that, in my opinion, a lot of Web3 studios and influencers are making by thinking we just need the killer game, that suddenly everybody wants to play Web3 games. No, you need a collective infrastructure that shows that Web3 is a viable technology for these games, just like how no one game engine suddenly made that game engine super popular. It was the fact that everybody started using it, like the Unity engine. And that's how it's going to have to work, because it just has to be proven to work time and 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 time again.
Yeah.
And there has to be the infrastructure there to support it, and that infrastructure has to be built for where people actually are and not for where the builders want them to be, which is a problem that a lot of Web3 organizations make.
That makes a lot of sense, because there'd be a huge disconnect from where we are to getting to that space of, interface and using it.
That is true. Nobody wants to think about that, but we've all been building for people who are already in Web3, and those people are already here. If we're trying to onboard new people, we need to build for those people and not for the people that we already have using our products.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want them to jump across the canvas.
It is a chasm. If you know anything about business model, you got the early adopters, then you have the chasm to early mass adoption, and we're stuck before the chasm as an industry, and we have to build the products to get people to make that jump.
Excellent. And you are saying that Earnscape is a key player in making that happen?
I'm a little bit biased, but yes, I would say that.
Fabulous. Well, tell us, Steve, why is user acquisition so hard for Web3 products and services?
Just kind of talked about that, didn't we? So everybody's building for people that are already here. And it's really convoluted. You have to have and for one, everything's built for desktop. But if you look at the actual user demographics, most people who use Web3 technologies, and in my case also who are gamers, are on mobile. The masses of the world that want to use blockchain, they're in places where they don't have computers. They don't have all the infrastructure that the tech is currently built for. They're not going to get a MetaMask and put it on their browser as a plugin. They're not going to want to do all this fancy trading algorithms that require a high-end computer. Sure, we can outsource that to the cloud, but most of the time people don't have access to really high-speed internet too, so it doesn't matter how good your trading algorithm is. If you're doing a trading bot, you're going to be stuck behind the people who have the high-speed internet. And again, most of these people are not in areas with super advanced infrastructure. Otherwise, they'd use the legacy institutions. Blockchain's major advantage is its ability to reach people who don't have access to the traditional resources that big legacy finance institutions or people in the developed world have. And that's one of the things that we're fixing at Earnscape, and in my opinion we've already fixed it, but we're just rolling it out now to the masses so that we can fix the onboarding and user acquisition problem, remove the friction points of needing to have all this high-end knowledge, having all this fancy equipment and technology to be able to use the technology, and then also remove the friction of, do I buy, do I sell, do I hold? Because nobody wants to use an asset that could potentially spike up 1,000x overnight. Everybody's thinking they're holding the next Bitcoin, so they don't actually use the technology. And that's a huge impediment to user adoption. They'll start, but they won't finish the user cycle.
Absolutely, and I'm sure Earnscape is taking a major role in educating people and doing that. Is that right?
I honestly think that education is the wrong way to go.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm going to be contrarian here. Everybody says, yes, we have to be educators. And to an extent, yes, you need to know stuff.
Yeah.
But the user experience should speak for itself.
Sure.
You shouldn't have to know how to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't have to know how TCP/IP works in order to use my web browser.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to know how the game engine works in order to play the game.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to know that I'm connecting to an AWS server running MongoDB or whatever in order to use an app that has a backend database to it. It just needs to work and solve my personal problem without me having to do a whole bunch of additional research and learning ahead of time.
Yeah, absolutely, and that will help more Lightning user adoption, I'm sure. All right, so then Earnscape doesn't seem like it needs blockchain, so why use it?
Yes, we're a live streaming platform, which doesn't scream blockchain, does it? But the best way to pay people is through stablecoins.
Right.
A lot of the people I just described, a lot of these people are in developing countries. A lot of these people don't have bank accounts. A lot of these people don't have access to traditional financial infrastructure.
Yeah.
The best thing to do to pay them, give them a wallet and just give them stable coins.
Sure.
And then you give them ways to use the stable coins. So we can use a card that you can just pay.
Yeah.
So now you don't need to have an off-ramp to bank. We can, and one of the infrastructure integrations that we've done is airtime minute. I always say miles, but airtime minutes. So if you're in a country where you have to buy your data on the go,
Yeah.
you can just use the stable coins we've given you to buy the data because we've integrated directly with the telcos. And we do a lot of telco integrations for user acquisition and adoption as well. So we don't want to have to do all the hardcore marketing. We just let other partners do it for us, and at the same time we can send assets back and forth so they can purchase assets directly using the stable coins and the wallets we've given them.
Wow.
Because they earn money as they play, right? That's how we started off.
Yeah.
When people see ads as you're playing a game,
Yeah.
you make money every time an ad is served. How does that,
Yeah.
if you're talking about Google or YouTube, you have to earn thousands of dollars in pending money before that'll get paid out, and you got to have a bank account. If you don't have one, you don't get paid. But with us, it just goes straight in your wallet as soon as you're done playing.
Excellent. And are you finding the feedback from the users is very positive?
Yes and no. So we have a mixture because a lot of people call us a scam because we ban them if they're committing fraud.
Oh.
So that doesn't go over very well. People who are used to a Web3 product just wanting masses of users that
Yeah.
create thousands of accounts and try to bot all the metrics, they
Yeah.
get really upset when we
Yeah.
identify that this person has 50 accounts and ban them all. They're like, oh, this is a scam because I worked so hard. You're not supposed to be working. You're playing games
Yeah.
and you're trying to commit fraud to
Yeah.
steal money from people who are actually playing games. So no, screw you. We don't want you. This is for people who are actually real humans, and that's why our user base is relatively low right now because, as I said, we've actively suppressed it. One thing I've really learned, just how bad the bot problem is in Web3, because as soon as you say Web3, you get everybody who wants to create hundreds of accounts to milk the system for as much as they possibly can.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, from people who actually use the product correctly, massive, massive positive responses.
Excellent. So, well, going forwards into the future, given that, you're saying you've suppressed the user base, but you have intention to open it up, what is the next steps for Earnscape?
Well, in the next couple of weeks, I mentioned we have those telco partnerships. So we've, in our initial target markets at least, we've got partnerships with two of the biggest ones in the countries that we're targeting, and then another one in another country.
Yeah.
We're expecting that to bring around 150 to 250 million users over the course of the next few months. And at that point, it's pretty much off to the races. We also have a bunch of additional AI, like recommendation algorithms. So there's a lot of games out there that don't get the attention they deserve.
Yeah.
And we can help those games get their initial player base because they're focused on making a great game. They're not focused on their acquisition and their user marketing.
Yeah.
We can fix that for them all at the same time and get them the exposure they need from the masses
Yeah.
so that the people come in and play organically. And I'm really excited about that opportunity to really help people on all sides of the equation, from the game creators to the content creators to the people who just want content to consume because they
Right.
don't know what the heck they want to play. We
Yeah.
can make the recommendations, but there's nothing like watching someone play. All marketing is human to human now. You can see ads all the time, but until someone actually pushes you personally to go do something, you're probably not going to do it.
Yeah.
So having all those brand impressions in there and then giving people the advertising directly from another human because they're watching a live stream,
Yeah.
that's going to push people to play these awesome games that have otherwise gone under the radar.
That sounds excellent. I love what you're doing. I'm super excited for you guys. And I can't wait for the users to just blow up on Earnscape.
I'm nervous. But yes.
Hopefully that's
I'm
a good
also
thing.
excited. Yeah, I'm nervously excited excited, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Steve, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time, and we wish you all the best. You've been live with Steve Wood from Earnscape at Token 2049. For more news and interviews, head to grapher.com or download the Grapher app.